Hi, Kirsty Young here. Today we're going to show you part of our apple harvest. Taking the netting off the trees, how to tell if your apples are ready for picking, the difference between a fruit spur and a growth spur, and finally, whether or not it's worth buying the budget netting to keep the wildlife out of your harvest. These have fallen Granny Smith apples. I don't think it's ready. You can see by the seeds it's not. I'd give that probably 2 weeks minimum, maybe 3 weeks, and they'll be ready. For now, I'll just leave it here for the chickens. How do you know your apples are ripe? If they come away fairly easily, lift it up. If it wants to part company with the tree, it's ready. You may have to do a little bit of a twist, but that's still ready. If you have to twist and twist and twist 10, 15 times, it's not quite ready. I've always had to net the trees because of the wallabies, but now we don't have the wallabies, I don't need the nets. Why don't I need nets? Why don't we have wallabies? We don't have wallabies because the dogs decided to get under the fence of the gaps where the wallabies came and went and chase them around the neighbourhood. So now all the gaps have been closed off. The dogs can't get out, but the wallabies can't get in. It's great for my fruit trees. It's bad for my grass that the wallabies were eating. I think I'm going to have to get geese to mow the lawn. The grass grows through. You have to pull it from below. Oh, that's really grown through. I had to tie the fence to the posts because the wallabies and possums trying to get at the tree would squish the fencing down. It's not that strong a gauge. Oh look, there's a bit of lemon balm. I thought it had all died off. This is Copper's idea of helping with the apple harvest. He sits on the net that's no longer on the trees. He eats apples that are split or have been eaten by slugs or whatever and aren't suitable to take in the house. His mate Vicky has joined him in apple eating. Actually, he's stolen her apple and she's wishing that she could have it back, even though there are apples strewn around all over the place for dogs and chickens. Apples are harvested. The fence is all taken off. I've put a bit of wood there that was there to help stop things getting underneath the fence. I have put it back again on the downhill side because the chickens will come in here and scratch around and everything will end up down the hill if I don't protect. In addition, I have put some half house bricks there to protect that lemon balm, which is surviving. It won't survive at all once the chickens get in here unless I have those barriers there. My son has just tipped a bag of seaweed underneath the apple tree that had been sitting around in the carport. I was happy for it to be just dumped in one hit because the chickens will spread it round, but the dogs are having first go. You can see the spurs here. This little one here and this one here. These are the apples I picked earlier. There are also some embryonic fruit that didn't make it. If I tried to pull those off, I could quite easily pull the spur off accidentally. I'll just nip those off with my secateurs. It wouldn't really matter if I didn't do it. It's just as much for looks as anything. This is a variety of Acacia cognata. It's planted in the orchard as a nurse tree, nitrogen fixing, and helps protect the trees when they were younger from wind damage. You can hear the wind, it's quite strong at the moment. I'm waiting for my new microphone to arrive. We cut it back quite a lot so we could get the net off the tree. We did the same on the other side of the tree last summer when we were harvesting peaches. The tree doesn't mind that at all. It just grows back with lots of vigour. We practice chop and drop here. The cuttings are just dropped on the ground right where they're chopped and they rot into the ground. As Jeff Lawton, a permaculturalist from New South Wales, says, a forest grows on a fallen forest. Whilst this isn't a forest, the droppings are certainly feeding the ground. There's Cobber with another apple. These here are growth spurs. We've had a funny autumn, unseasonably warm, so there's actually some activity there which you wouldn't normally see because now's the time of year when the trees are going dormant. This here is a fruit spur. You can see where the stalks have attached to it. This is an old one. This is one of the first apple trees I put in, so it's about 6 or 7 years old. The netting, 10 metres by 10 metres, has been spread out to dry out before it's folded up and put away in the shed until next season. This was a brand new net last season. It has holes through it, quite a lot actually. The holes aren't where the net was touching the ground, they are from higher up. I accidentally bought the budget variety net from Shiploads, one of the cheapy shops, and it wasn't until I was walking out that I saw the usual strong ones out the front of the shop for sale for an extra $10, which was $40. I'd already paid for this one, it was $30. I thought, well, I'll just see how it holds up, and their answer is not very well. It is definitely not worth the $10 saving.